kind of like holding on to something tight with your fist. Okay. When your hands are clenched like this, you can't put anything in your hands, right? Can't put a pen in my hand. My hands are clenched because I'm holding on to something. I'm holding on to what I'm trying to control, and I can't control it. I can't open myself up to new ideas that might be able to come to me if I let go. If I just let go and stop focusing on it. Okay. You're holding on to this. I need to do something. I need to do something. I need to do something. I don't know what. And then you're focused on this. It's creating a lot of resistance. And so you got to let that go so that the ideas can come to you. You see? Do you guys see where I'm going with this? Okay. It's kind of like money. When I study a lot of law of attraction stuff, I try not to do too much woo-woo on this channel anymore. I used to do woo-woo Wednesdays. I'm setting up a whole new channel, guys. It's called, it's such a new channel. It's called Quantum Reality Awakening. My first videos are going to be dropping this Sunday, but that's going to be pure woo-woo. If you guys are really into the woo-woo, you're going to love that channel. But in studying law of attraction, that's one of the things that I realized when it comes to money. The money and wealth is a mindset. And I used to be so worried about money, and I would hold on to money so tightly. The thing is that when you're holding on to money so tightly, no money can come into your fist, right? You're holding on to it so tightly. But if you realize that money is energy and energy flows, well, if you're less likely to just hold on to that money, you're going to do more stuff with it. And the thing is that more money tends to come to you when you do stuff like that. It's very woo woo, I'll admit, but it tends to work out that way. So there is a way to live where life meets you halfway. But before I show you that, guys, do be sure to follow me on social media. The links are in the description. I'm on all the good platforms. And if you haven't done so already, get my free ebook, She's Made You Weak. It's the top link in the description. It explains why attraction erodes in long-term relationships and over time through what we call the betatization process. If you're in a relationship right now, you're going to want to get this if you haven't gotten it already, because it will prevent a lot of problems you might have down the road. And it might also help you turn things around if things are starting to slide. Because if you don't know what's happening, you don't know how to defend against the dark arts, okay? And then, guys, today is Frame Friday. My book that I say is my book on frame is my psychology paradigm book. And it's all about rewiring your mind to have more of a dominant masculine presence. But in doing so, it'll help rewire your mind to have more success in life and in all areas, whether it's with women, with business, or whatever, because it really wires your mind to have that dominant masculine presence, to be more decisive, to set the tone and lead in all areas of your life, have extreme ownership over things. And that kind of mentality will really lead you really far in life in general. There's Chicks in the house. She says, "Good morning, gentlemen. Thank God it's Friday."
So naughty.
She is. Wait.
I'm going to come.
There we go. Did you guys know that Nurse Chick wrote a book? Belly's full, balls empty. You know what she said in this? She autographed it for me. She says, "My love, if I ever stop doing the things in this book, spank me with it." Good girl. You can find that on Amazon. It's literally the only book titled Belly's Full, Balls Empty out there. You want to know why? Because it's such a simple concept it's such a simple concept that it's almost like women don't know how to keep a man. But it's such a simple concept, right? Like, ladies, here's a book on it. Here's a book on it. Brother Ray's in the house. Good morning, everyone. Dividend Gypsy says, "Going out with my chica and she's staying over mañana." Hey, my man. Master Roshi says, "Good morning." Brian Scasta says, "Very good book." I'm thinking he must be talking about Think and Grow Rich, right? Is it Think and Grow Rich that you're talking about? Anyway, all right, cool. And then we got a bunch of people that are either going to they have exciting plans this weekend. Moudy's going to be lazy, and then Will says he's going to be lazy, and he also has to work. Okay, fair enough. All right, where are we at here? The inner resistance loop. Okay. As you're trying to force things it tends to trigger more obstacles. How does that work? Well, that tension of trying to control things, and it tends to invite pushback. Like when your actions are rooted in pressure, people and situations naturally respond with equal resistance. Have you ever been in a panic and you're flustered and you're trying to get people to do what you want to do and it makes them all flustered? Has that ever has that ever happened to you? Like you go into panic mode and so everyone else around you panics. Okay. Well, a lot of this triggers freeze, what is it? Fight, flight, or freeze. Okay. Well, that fight mode tends to blind you. It forces narrow perceptions, makes you miss making you miss easier or more effective solutions that are right in front of you. And that a lot of that is like when you're in a hurry. Like, have you ever noticed how when you're in a hurry, you tend to make more mistakes? But if you are calm and you're more logical about things and more organized, you tend to make less mistakes. It's the whole reason why when there's an emergency situation, they try to keep people from panicking, because that panic mode, people stop thinking clearly. Well, that's because you're in fight, flight, or freeze mode. And so you're not thinking, you're just thinking about survival at that point. And so it tends to blind you from other things, and it might actually cause you to get injured or something, right? So the same thing happens in fight mode. You're blinded by all these other options because you're not taking a step back and thinking about it more clearly, using your cognitive mind. And then that escalating effort becomes a trap. The more resistance you face, the harder you push, which only fuels more resistance in return. That's why I say what you resist persists. Got it? And then that creates an emotional toll that develops more anxiety, decision fatigue, loss of spontaneity, all that kind of stuff. Everything becomes mechanical, and you're not really enjoying this whole process. Now it's work. Now it's stress. Now it's just one other thing on your plate. it can, a lot of that kind of stuff has a cost to your relationships too. When control replaces trust, like if you become controlling guy, this is where like learning how to effectively set boundaries, if it's a game changer for guys, because the way guys think that you should set boundaries is by becoming more controlling, which is unattractive behavior, which actually pushes women away more. Like, you can't go out with your friends, I forbid it. That kind of stuff. That's controlling behavior. That's you trying to control your woman. But if you set an effective boundary of, hey, I can't be with someone that goes out with their hoe friends. Okay. That's you saying, hey, by all means, if you want to go out with your 304 friends, that's on you, but I'm not going to be around when you come back. Okay. That's that's my boundary. But you're your own woman. You can do whatever you want to do. Right. That's a more effective way of setting a boundary, because it's still leaving the decision up to her. You're not controlling her. She can do whatever she wants. She's a grown woman. Okay. But she also doesn't get to dictate whether you're going to stick around or not. This is a boundary I have. So that you trying to control that, it tends to erode emotional safety. So when one person constantly dictates outcomes, the other feels unseen or undervalued. This is where in Get Her to F You Again, in Ryan's book on Dread, we talk about the captain first officer dynamic when you're setting the tone and leading your relationship. When you're the captain and she's the executive officer, you're not ruling the relationship like an evil dictator. You're not barking orders and commanding things. And you'll tune into some of these toxic red pill channels, and they'll say that, like, you need to lay down the law, and it's very ineffective. Okay. Because the other person's going to start feeling controlled and oppressed, and that's not what makes women feel secure at the end of the day. They don't want to be controlled. But when you lead the relationship like the commanding officer, she's your executive officer, you're going to take her ideas under advisement on occasion. She's probably got great ideas. And if you do that, she's going to feel more included and trust your ability to lead your relationship, But, every once in a while, she's going to come up with an idea that it just doesn't match your idea. And so what you can say then in that circumstance is, you know what, honey, that's a great idea. We're going to go with this option for now, and we'll try your idea if this doesn't work out. Like that's setting the tone and leading and taking her ideas under advisement.
New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Subscribe now.